Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the 2025 NFL season of the official NFL contest show. This is the pick release show where I'll be giving out my 5 selections for the Circa Millions contest. I'll also be giving out my weekly pick for the Survivor contest, even though I'm not in the Circa Survivor. Um, I'll give out my pick each week, see how far we go, and give updates on the other contests that take place here in Las Vegas. Now, we've gotten some of the numbers released to us from the Circa on the selections for Week One of the Circa Millions contest. Let me pull this up here. Right here, we've got the first top 5 picks for this Week One of the NFL season. They haven't released all the picks yet. They're going to do it after they do their show. But so far, we know we've got the New York Giants as the most popular pick at 1,600, almost 1,700 picks out of. There is the official total for the Circa Millions contest is 5,685 entrants. That is 315 entries below the 6,000 they needed. So there's a 315,000 overlay. So that's extra money. So you're already ahead of the game this year. Now the picks, there's 1,700 out of that 5,700 entries that took New York. The second most popular pick is the Atlanta Falcons at +2 at 1,500 picks. You've got the Seattle Seahawks at number 3 at +2.5 at just 1,353 picks. The Detroit Lions, taking on the Green Bay Packers on the road, have 1,350 picks. And then the fifth most selected team for Week 1 is the Denver Broncos -8.5 at 1,324. This is not a surprising one. When we get the full list, I wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee only has maybe 500 entries. So they'll be almost 800 more than the other side. But I can say I don't have any of these. So I am not in the top 5 selections for Week 1 at all. Now my strategy for this year, or at least this week, was to go a little with some unpopular picks as well as some teams that I think are going to be a lot better during the season than people are giving them credit for. And when it's Week 1 and the team is as healthy as it's going to be, you're definitely trying to use them when you can. So I do not have any of these picks. Let me check something real quick. See if they've released the PDF. Not yet. They haven't released it yet. But so we can get into my selections, and let me pull up the Circa lines for Week 1. Here we go. And so what we've got this is the Week 1 point spreads. And obviously I didn't pick the Chargers, and I didn't pick any of the top 5 teams, which the Steelers and Jets weren't in that. But I don't have any action on this game. But this game here, the Dolphins and the Colts, I do have one of these sides. And I am going with the Indianapolis Colts as a pick 'em at home. And my reason why is I think their offensive line is going to be able to maul this defensive line for Miami. I think Miami's secondary is suspect with all their injuries. And the Colts have some skilled wide receivers in Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. And then they've also got Mo Alley Cox and their new rookie tight end Tyler Warren. So they've got some weapons, and then you add in Jonathan Taylor, who can catch screen passes. I think the play action is going to work off the run. I really like the Indianapolis Colts' offense to get after Miami's defense. And then for the Colts, they've actually got a really strong front four with Quiddy Pay and DeForest Buckner. They've got some guys who can get after the quarterback, and Tua tends to get the ball out quickly. But if they can get up their hands, and because these are big guys, and clog those passing lanes, you could see some tipped passes. You could see some, potential interceptions for the Colts secondary. And, the Miami team as a whole they've got a little drama going on. So we got to see how that all works out. But I actually have some Miami players in fantasy, but I still think the Colts are going to win this game. And when it's a pick 'em at home, I like that. You know what I mean? I think week one, the crowd's really going to begin to it. It's going to be a sellout. So I am definitely on the Colts as my first pick for week one of the Circa Millions contest. Now, the next game on the list, I also have action on this one. It's the Carolina Panthers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Panthers getting 3.5. And I am going with the Carolina Panthers plus the 3.5. Reason why is I believe the Carolina Panthers offensive line is one of the better offensive lines in football. They've got 2,000-yard runners. They're going to be able to pound the ball against this Jacksonville Jaguars light defensive front. And I think they'll also be able to protect Bryce Young and give him time to throw the ball. Now, a lot of people are making a big deal about Thielen being out and Coker getting injured, or Thielen being traded and Coker being injured, but I still think they've got some good pieces on offense with Xavier Leggett, and then who else they got there? The Carolina Panthers. Oh, and they've got their rookie, Tedera McMillan, who's supposed to be really good. And then they've got Hunter Renfrow. They've got a decent two-headed tight end monster. And this offensive line, man, is just that's the key to this game. Now, the Jaguars do have a good passing game, but their first-year coach, first game, his first time as a head coach, in the NFL. And I don't know if they might get off to a slow start. You've got their number 2 wide receiver is a rookie, in Travis Hunter. I think we'll have a good year, but I think it'll take time for him to adjust to the NFL game at full speed. And I just believe that the Carolina Panthers, their front four with Derek Brown, they might be able to get after Trevor Lawrence with this, middle of the pack Jaguars offensive line. And I just think the 3.5, getting that hook in this game when a lot of people aren't thinking too highly of the Panthers, could potentially give me another game where I could gain a point where there's not going to be a lot of people on this side. It did make the top 5, so certainly looking good on that front. Next game, Giants Commanders. I don't have anything on this one. As I said, this was the number 1 pick, the Giants. So, and that line's moved to 6.5. So you're actually getting a worse number than what you could get in the sports books. But this was on my short list because of the Giants defense, and I see regression from Commanders. If you think about last year, they won several games that were really coin flips. I mean, that Chicago Bears Hail Mary game was basically the turning point for my Circa Millions last year, because I went from having it would have been a 3-2 week to a 2-3 week, and I just never recovered. Yeah, that was tough. But so moving on, Bengals Browns again, not in the top 5, but I don't have any side in this one either. The Bengals definitely have to get out to an early start, but the Browns could potentially move the ball on them, and I could see them backdooring this even if they don't win the game outright. Bengals are going to put up points, but what's their defense going to do? I think they might actually be okay, but I didn't take either side in this one. I don't have any action on this one. Moving on, Raiders, Patriots. I do have a side in this one, and I have chosen to go with the New England Patriots, again at home, laying under a field goal against a team traveling across the country. And they're gonna, they've got some new pieces here, and Vrabel's got a new head coach, but I actually think he's one of the best, if not the best, game-to-game strategist there is in the NFL right now. I know he's going to have his team prepared. They went out and spent a bunch of money in free agency. They loaded up the defense. They got weapons for Drake May to throw to. They got complementary pieces in the run game. I think they're going to maul people. They got that Will Campbell from LSU, the offensive lineman. I think they're just going to be able to push this Raiders defensive front around. They're going to be able to run the ball. They're going to make it a dirty game. You know, it's going to be low scoring. Let me see what it is for this game. The where is it? New England Patriots is up here. Yeah, the total for this game is 44.5. So they're not expecting a lot of points in this game, and I'm not either. You know, Variable's special teams are always going to be top notch. And again, you know, Pete Carroll's in a rebuilding mode. They got Geno Smith. I like Geno, but he tends to get a little reckless with the ball in the red zone. And I think Variable's defense, now they are missing two of their better defensive backs. Gonzalez and one of their other guys was ruled out today. So that's a concern, but I think they have the pieces to do it. And again, Vrabel knows he'll plan his game strategy to, pound the ball, control the ball, run down the clock. Don't give the Raiders any extra possessions. Don't make any mistakes, and get out of there with a low scoring, maybe a 3-point victory. So I got the Patriots as my third pick for Week 1, and again, not in the top 5. So again, we're doing good on that front. Next game is the Bucks and Falcons. And I told you that I don't use Atlanta Falcons games in the Circa because I am a Falcons fan, as you can see. And so I leave them off. But they were the number 2 pick, Atlanta. And I have money on them. I have a bet on them. And on the money line, I didn't even take the points. So, I have confidence that Atlanta's going to win this game. And this could potentially be a point for all these 1,503 entries that chose the Atlanta Falcons in the Week 1. Moving on to the Titans and the Broncos. Again, top 5 pick for Denver. I didn't want to get involved in this. I knew the Broncos were going to be a popular side. I think the Titans might be able to score enough points to backdoor cover this one. It all depends on Cam Ward and how he handles his nerves, but I think he's going to do okay. And the Titans' defense isn't terrible. The Broncos' offense isn't, world beaters. They're not going to be putting up, 40 points a game. So if they could just keep it close, maybe cause a turnover, strip sack, tip ball for an interception, give their team an extra possession, the Titans could certainly fall within this number. But I didn't want anything to do with it, but a lot of people did. So I'm going to be rooting for the Titans. Moving on to the next game, 49ers Seahawks. I do not have a side in this game either, but the Seahawks were the number 3 pick. A lot of people aren't believing in the 49ers, especially with their injuries on the wide receiver side of the ball, but they've got a good defense. I do like the Seahawks in this game. It could be very close. We could see this come down to a special teams play, maybe a missed field goal by a kicker, getting involved in this this number. With the 2.5, a lot of people always think 2.5 below 3 could be a thing, and yet, you get a missed extra point somewhere along the game, and all of a sudden that 3-point victory is a 2-point victory. But I didn't get involved in this one. I do like the Seahawks at home. So again, 1,353 people thought that this was a good selection for Week 1, and I'll probably be rooting along with them. The next game up, and another one that made the top 5, Lions and Packers. Lions were the favorite at 1,350 selections. People not liking. I guarantee you, when they show all of the lists, though, the Packers are going to have about 1,000. So it's not gonna be that big of a difference. This one too. I think this one, and this one are going to be very close. There's going to be over 2,000 entries in these 3 right here. About 2,500 each or more. But the Lions and Packers, good game. I guess Micah Parsons is going to be on a pitch count, so he'll probably only be coming in on clear passing downs to get after the quarterback. They won't use him as much when there's potential for the run, maybe in early downs. I do not have any action in the Circa Millions on this side on this game. I do like the Packers at home -2.5, but this could go either way, and I have no action on this game. We'll see what happens when we get to this. This is the late window, the 1 o'clock window. So we'll see if anything changes between now and then. But I really just want to watch this game as a fan and enjoy it and not have to worry about the outcome on either side. I might do a total bet. What's this total for this one? Here we go. It is 47.5. So I don't know. I would like to take the over in that game just because I would enjoy watching a lot of points back and forth, back and forth. But you could see these defenses and these offenses coming out to a slow start week one and then getting fired up later on in the game. But I'll be taking a look at some other options on this one, but no action on this game. Next up is the Texans and Rams. This made the short list. I almost used the Texans +3, but I thought this was going to be a popular pick. It did not make the top 5, but I would be shocked if it's not in maybe the top 7 or 8 selections. And again, the Rams will probably get a pretty good backing as well. But the full 3 points is probably keeping people away from this one, which I just, you have question marks about Matthew Stafford. I have question marks about the Texans' offensive line. I think their defense is really good. I think their defense is really good. The total for this game is 43.5. So the sports books, the bookmakers are expecting a low-scoring defensive battle as well. A lot of field goals probably. And this could easily be a push. And I'm looking for points right now. I'm not looking for half points right now. We're too early in the season. It's only week 1 to be trying to play for half of points. We're looking for a 5-0. I'm trying to get as many points as I can in these first 4 weeks in this first quarter to start my season off right. I mentioned it in the live stream that by the end of the first 4 weeks, you want to be at least at 15 points. Which means 15 wins. That way, you're not falling behind the people who are potentially winning the first quarter prize because they're probably going to have around 17 or 18 points. But you're putting yourself in a good spot mathematically to get 60 points. And 60 points will put you in the money every time. Okay, moving on to an awesome game. The night game on Sunday, and a game that I do have a side in this one. And this is a rematch of last year's playoffs. I have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Buffalo Bills, and I will be going with Lamar Jackson. The man is just a killer in the regular season. And, I truly do believe that there could be a little something in the back of Lamar's mind that he didn't get the MVP last year with the 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,000 yards rushing, got his team to the playoffs, all that. And that they gave it to Josh Allen, maybe, just make a little statement. And the Baltimore Ravens are just the most complete team, I believe, in the NFL. They've got good tight ends. They've got a bruising back that only gets better as the game goes on. They've got a dynamic quarterback you can't really game plan for. You can't practice against him because there's nobody else like him. They've got decent wide receivers, and they've got a loaded defense, especially in the secondary. Buffalo lacks wide receivers, and they've got a bunch of defensive players that are either injured or old guys that, are retreads that they're trying to squeeze the last little bit of football life out of. And I just don't think they're going to get it done in this game. So I'm really loving Baltimore here. I think they win this game easily. I think they make a statement week 1 that they are the team to beat in the AFC. We've already seen the Kansas City Chiefs go down to the Chargers. So, I believe the AFC is going to be a back and forth battle all year. Every victory is going to matter on who's going to get that home field in the bye week going into the playoffs. So I really think Baltimore is going to come out and make a statement and win this game. So I'm taking Baltimore as my 4th pick in the Circa Millions. And again, another team that did not make the top 5. So good on that. I still think this is going to be popular. It'll probably be close to 1,000. So will the Buffalo Bills, though. They'll be close to 1,000 selections as well. Maybe like 800. But there's going to be a lot of people on the Bills for sure. And now our final game, the Monday night game, the game that I normally don't. I try to avoid Monday nights because I know a lot of people like to choose them because it's a primetime game. It's going to be on TV. They know they're going to be watching the game, so why not throw it on their card? and sweat the game as well. But I just like this scenario for the Chicago Bears. I believe that J.J. McCarthy is, he's going to struggle in his first game back from a severe knee injury and his first start in the NFL after having to sit out last year. We got, oh, we got points in the Oklahoma game. Michigan's on the board. I got a parlay going on right now. Let's see if he makes the extra point. Good. He is good. All right, 14-7 Oklahoma. I have Oklahoma -4. But okay, I do. Chicago Bears are my fifth pick. And again, I just see the Vikings. The Vikings defense last year was very opportunistic. They had some very good games where they had non-offensive touchdowns, where there was pick sixes and that kind of stuff. And I don't think they're going to have that same type of turnover success that they had last year. They're still a good defense, but so is Chicago. And I think they're going to get after this rookie quarterback. I think it's going to just take time for him to work his way into the NFL. Even with all the skill players that the Vikings have, home field advantage for Chicago. We got a new head coach in Chicago and Ben Johnson from the Lions, who's going to put in a really good offense. And then this guy's got some really good pieces in wide receivers and skill position players. He's got DJ Moore, Roma Dunze. They got Loveland and Komet, the tight ends, and they've got Swift at back. And I think they got Johnson as well. So they've got some good pieces surrounding Caleb Williams, and I just like this at home Monday night standalone game. Crowd's going to be loud. It's a division game. They're getting points at home, and I just think Chicago's going to win this game outright. So the Chicago Bears are my fifth pick for the NFL Week 1 Circa Millions contest. We are getting into the nitty gritty here. Okay, now we got some action here. Okay, give me 1 second. So we've got the release of the full list of selections. Um, we got the full pick of selections. So let me pull this file up so we can look at this together. Okay. And we've also got. So let me pull that up for you so you can see that. Here we go. And we've also got the Survivor full list of Survivor picks as well. So let me just save this one as well while you can look at the Circa picks. Where are we on this one? Colts are the underdog to the Dolphins. There's fewer picks for that one. And Panthers, look at that, double. The Jaguars are double, so that's going to be a good spot for me. If I can get that win by Carolina, that's going to be a good spot for me because you know that's 500 more people that would get a point if they actually get that. So that's looking good as a strategy so far. Oh, what are we doing? There we go. The again, Colts 758, 500 about 450 more um, are on Miami, so that's good for us. What else we got? We got the Colts. We got Carolina, right? About 500 more, 512 more on the Jags. That's going to be a good one if we can get that win. Look at only 800 double on the Giants. So the Commanders, if they get the win and cover the spread, that's a good one for me. And I'll know. I'll know. I have two late games and a Monday night game, so I'll have all the results of all these games and everybody's picks before I know how I finish. Woo! Look at that. Only well, almost 1,941 selections on um the Browns, so it's only like 300 more for the Bengals, so that's pretty even. Then we move on here. Yeah, not a popular game. Neither one of them hit 1,000, but more people on Vegas, or no, more people on the Patriots than on Vegas. But it's really close. I mean, it's less than 100 picks, and neither one of them are over 1,000. So you can tell people didn't want to get involved in this game. That's why I liked it. You know, that's why I took New England. Um, Baltimore is my pick. And yeah, wow, they didn't even get 1,000, only 575 picks, 74 picks. So yeah, um, you'll see how that works out. But I just love Lamar in the regular season. He's so good. Back over here, look at that. Saints need to win this one, or at least cover the 6.5. Cardinals, look at that, double. I mean, 4 times as much almost, 403 times as much as what there was in the people who chose New Orleans. You know, these are people who are playing the leverage game, trying to choose a team that they knew were going to be unpopular, and see if they could catch lightning in a bottle with um, the Cardinals, or I mean with the Saints. Moving on to Bucks and Falcons. We said Falcons were top 5. Bucks are at 800, so 600 more people on the Falcons and the Bucks. Not a lot of love for the Bucks, even though they lost both games to the Falcons last year. If you watch those games, the Falcons got so lucky. The Bucks literally blew it, and they still lost the division. They beat the Bucks twice and lost the division to Tampa Bay anyway. Titans and Broncos, look at that. 1,300 to 313. So, yeah, 4 times as many people on the Broncos as the Titans. I would love to see Tennessee cover this number. This would be great. 49ers and Seahawks. About 700 to 1,300. So, you know, almost double. You know, pretty close to 45% more on the Seahawks. I also got Mississippi State. Arizona State just scored. So, yeah, I mean, I'm on the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks, so we'll see how that goes. Lions and Packers. Lions top 5. Packers only getting 750. Definitely more love for Detroit than the Packers. Go, Pack, go. I'll be watching this game as a fan. I'll probably put some prop bets down on it, but go, Pack, go. Texans and Rams. I'm shocked that there's such little love for both of these teams, but people didn't want to get involved. I'm saying with that 3, people are trying to get full points. They're not trying to get half points. I mean, look at this one. This is Friday game, but I only got less than 500. Same thing, 3 points. Nobody's loving the threes right now because it's too early in the season to be worrying about trying to go for half points. You want to go for full points, 5-0s. Again, we talked about Baltimore Bills because I'm on Baltimore. And then the final game, Vikings and Bears, and everybody's loving the Bears. Look at over 1,000, only 528 on the Vikings. So that's got me a little concerned that everybody's loving on the Bears. I didn't think they would get that much, and I thought more people would be on Minnesota. But they're probably seeing it the same way I am, which is J.J. McCarthy playing his first game. You know, you gotta you gotta know what you gotta just hedge yourself on this one. Oop, I should have went to studio mode again. But yeah, um, so those are all of the plays or the selections for week one. Now we can go on next to the Survivor. Now I'm not in the Circa Survivor. I'm terrible at these things. I normally don't even make it past the halfway point of the season, so I don't see wasting $1,000 right now when I really don't have $1,000 to waste entering the contest. But I will enter it at some time. I just can't do it right now. I just didn't have an extra $1,000 to throw down. But here we are with the Circa selections for week one. And just as a reminder, they're starting the contest for Survivor. If you don't know how the rules work, this is where you pick one team just to win the game every week, and you can only use a team once. There's 2 extra weeks on Thanksgiving and Christmas, so there's a total of 20 weeks. So you have to use 20 teams. You can only use them once. This is a winner-takes-all type of contest, and there are 18,718 entries. So that is a prize pool of $18,718,000 that potentially one person can win. Now it's usually less than 10 entries, but I don't think there's ever been one in the Survivor. There's never been one single winner. There's always at least 3 or 4. So, we've already got some entries eliminated from the early games. I see here, look at that, 34 people didn't submit a pick. That means that's $34,000 that was just thrown away because they didn't get their pick in time. And you got two entries who went brave and went with the Cowboys and almost got the upset. Look at that, versus, what is that, 1,811 on Philly. Boy, there would have been some upset people to start the season if Philly would have lost that game. But still, you have the Chiefs, 36 entries. They lost. And then, did anybody pick the Chargers? Chargers right here. So 12 people already advanced. So you got the big one with Philly, and you got the Chargers with 12, knocking out 36 with the Chiefs. Look, that's so sad. 34 people didn't submit. Right? That is 34. 34 or 24, but whatever it is, still not submitting a pick week one. Like, were you drunk when you were in Vegas when you signed up and forgot about it or something? For what it is the time zone difference too. They forget that the time difference between where it's in Vegas and where it's at on the East Coast. I know that happens quite a bit. But so the number one pick, as predicted, is the Denver Broncos. Why does this? Oh, there it goes. The Denver Broncos at 7,173 participants, or basically, why does that keep changing? Stop changing. 38% of the entire I don't know why this thing is looping. It's not supposed to do that. Oh yeah, that's why. There we go. Here we go. Week one programming issues. Survivor selections. So he got 38% of the entire field on the Broncos. So if somehow Tennessee was able to pull off this game, there'd be a lot of upset people. Same thing with the Cardinals and the Saints. You got 4,171, 22% of the entire field. Eagles already won the game. Then you got the Jags, which I believe are potential upset team. Not a lot of people believing in Carolina. I am. They're on my Circa card. Bengals. Everybody thinks they're going to beat the Browns. They could certainly lose. They have started the last couple seasons off slow. Washington, again, Giants were the number one selection, +6 in the Circa Millions. So a lot of people thinking if you win the game or if you cover the spread, they should win the game. So if they like them to cover the spread or win, with the spread, they should think they're going to win. You got the Steelers. They dropped significantly now. Big bunch in this sixth group right here, and it drops all the way down to below 500 for Pittsburgh. Under 300 for New England. Rams getting 233. Then you got the Colts, Dolphins under 100. Bucks, Bears, 49ers. Chiefs already eliminated. Under at 36 entries. Then you got 30 for the 49ers, 27 for the Falcons. So all these are well below. But you've got a lot of representation in this game. Now for me, week 1, I've decided to go with the New England. Oh, this is the parlay. I've decided to go with the New England Patriots as my week 1 selection in the survivor pool. Now there's 269 other entrants, or 269 entrants on the New England Patriots. So only 1%, a little over, of the entire group. So that's a good spot. And even though they could lose to the Raiders, whereas the Raiders only got 25. This is a good spot to try to use a team like New England because you don't want to have questionable teams late in the season if you make it that far into the contest. You want to have strong teams. You've got to watch out for teams like Philly and the Chiefs and the teams that play on the holidays. You got to use that type of strategy as well. So I'm going with New England week 1 for the Survivor, and we'll see how that plays out this year. I'll be keeping track of my selection so I don't use the same team twice, and see how it goes. But yeah, this is huge. I mean, like I said, one person can win over $18 million. Now, let me go back to this slide. For the Circa Millions picks, this is the parlay for week 1, and it's a plus 2,400. It's my 5 picks. I have Indy on the money line, minus 115. Maybe you can get a better number than that. That's what I got. I took New England minus the 2.5 because I think they're going to win by at least 3. Now, normally I would take Carolina money line, but I want to take the 3.5 in this one because I just feel like even if they lose, they won't lose by more than 3 points. So I am taking the points with Carolina. Baltimore money line minus 120 and Chicago money line even. So that brings it to plus 2,400. That is the parlay of my 5 Circa Millions selections. What's also nice is, if you make it all the way through the first 4 games, the Monday night game, you can hedge, your bet if you're not confident in Chicago since it's a standalone game. You can even put a little money down in the Baltimore game since that's the night game just to maybe get your buyback, whatever you bet back if the Buffalo decides to win. But yeah, so that's my Circa Millions pick, and that's my 5 selections for the Circa Millions. And now we do have one more thing to go over. Let me select this. And add this file real quickly. because they were released after we started the stream. And this is the Grandissimo. This is the first year Circa has run this type of a contest. Now, this is way out of my league. This is the same concept as the Millions, but it is $100,000 buy-in. Winner takes all. So it's all the same strategy, same lines as the Circa Millions contest, which is $1,000 entry fee. But this one is $100,000 entry fee. Now there are 69 entries in this contest. So that is $6.9 million to the winner. And this one will probably have one winner. You might get two, but you won't get really more than that because of just the way that you can use different strategies. It's harder to do that in Survivor. But so far in this Grandissimo, the selections for week 1 are the Broncos plus 5.5. You have Eagles. I mean, you have Broncos at third. Now this is the point spread, right? Or no, this is. This is Circa Survivor, but $100,000 buy-in. Yeah, because there would be a lot more selections in this. All right, my bad. I got the rules mixed up. But okay. So it's Survivor style contest. Pick one team each week, but it's $100,000 buy-in, $6.9 million, 69 entrants. And so we have 35 people on the Broncos. We have 15 on the Eagles, which has already gone on to week 2. We have the Cardinals with 11 selections. You got the Bengals with 3, Commanders with 3, Steelers with 1, Jags with 1, and Rams with 1. So if the Giants or the Browns can pull off an upset, that'd be something. If the Titans did that in week 1, that would be a mind blower because they would just wipe out everybody in all the big chunk of the other contests. That'd be 4,000. You would end up with 14,000, almost one fifth of the contest, basically. Yeah, which has happened before. It does happen. But so that is the full slate of Circa contests. And that is the wrap on those contests. So that is my picks for the week 1. That is the NFL contest show for week 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching the live stream, I hope you stick around, but I'll be cutting off the recording now and just finishing the live stream so I can edit out this video. But yeah, we've got a good game going on in college, and we've got week 1 action tomorrow. So good luck to everyone if you're in these contests or some other type of contest. I really wish you the best of luck, but I'll be gunning for first place. You can join me Monday evenings for the late night wrap-up party, live streaming after the Monday night football game, going over the week's action. And I hope you enjoyed it. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Monday.